Hi guys, I'm Garen.
I'm JD.
And this is Investigating Comic Club, where we chronologically read, review, discuss, and rate specific crucial stories of the medium.
Indeed, and we hope that you guys will subscribe to become members of Comic Club yourself. Read along with us, share your own opinions of the stories in the comments. Stick around till the end of the video for our comic quality poll, so you guys give your own rating of A, B, C, D, or F. And potentially stick around till after our Misfit Picture Show's logo for some goofy bloopers. Today in our Chronological Marvel series, episode 7 is Hulk Grey by Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale. These two gentlemen, oh boy, they are a dynamic duo, and they have worked together in the industry often. They actually have a series for Marvel: Daredevil Yellow, Captain America White, Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Grey. So all these tales of these really iconic characters, and it's all done by Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale.
Gotcha.
For the distinguished competition, they also have Superman for All Seasons, which is kind of like a Superman Year One story.
Yeah.
They have Batman The Long Halloween, which is an epic classic that much of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy is based upon.
Oh, cool.
They were doing such great tales that when Heroes was at the height of its fervor, you know, that first season that came out, that was like a phenomenon. It just like took over America for that season. Jeph Loeb was one of the writers on it. And you know, there was that one character in Heroes that could paint the future and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Every single painting he did was by Tim Sale, the artist of this.
Ah, that's awesome.
It is awesome. And they're fantastic.
That's how all that connects.
Yeah.
And like, were they called? It threw me off. Were they, the way you were talking about them, were they the Jade Giants?
The Jade Giants.
Yeah. Because this issue, this story, is in memory of, dedicated to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the original Jade Giants.
Oh, that's really cool. No, the idea of a Jade Giant is one of the nicknames that the Hulk has.
Gotcha. And that's why I was like, I knew it had to probably be with Hulk, because this whole issue is dedicated. And a few days ago was Jack Kirby's birthday. Yeah,
that's really special. Guess who, you know, in our Chronological Marvel, Garen, who created the Hulk?
Jack?
Yep, and?
Stan?
Yep. Jack and Stan. Wow, they created the Hulk, another one, in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Look it up, I think it's 1961. I might be totally wrong, it might be 62 or 63. But, yes, Jack Kirby, Stan Lee created the Incredible Hulk. It's cool that they dedicated this issue to Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Stan Lee was alive when this came out, Jack Kirby was not. As I have grown and become an adult, this Jade Giant and the idea of Bruce Banner and his battle with his inner anger and darkness monster reverberates with me, and he has become my favorite of the Marvel characters, potentially, as I've grown up. You know, there's all these characters that I would really relate to when I was younger, like Colossus or Nightwing. But in my adulthood, Bruce Banner and the Hulk, I think, is such a high concept beauty. If you look at the early issues that Jack Kirby drew, it's very clear that the Hulk is inspired by Frankenstein's monster, specifically the Boris Karloff Universal Studios version of him. And like, brilliant, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Okay, let's take Frankenstein's monster and Dr. Frankenstein and just combine them.
No, it's I saw it as, you see Dr. Frankenstein's monster meets Jekyll and Hyde.
Of course,
You know,
without question.
That's, but it takes those classics and puts it into this character that we learn to know and love.
For me, it's actually werewolf.
Yeah.
You know, I love they're
any
my
of those
number one.
any of those fighting your inner demon transformation, radioactive kind of, you know, science. It's all into one story that can be relatable. Werewolf, Frankenstein, Jekyll and Hyde. some of those, if you go back, those have been around for years, you know, centuries.
Right.
And then you now have this, where, like you said, probably 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
It is, from then on, like, that is, it's funny to think, we're in the year 2019, 2020, it's still, that is still our Jekyll and Hyde, our Frankenstein.
Wow, yeah.
You know?
You're not wrong. You know, the Incredible Hulk he's a modern myth. Mm-hmm. He really is. And it's definitely it's a product of the 1950s Cold War paranoia of nuclear. Mm-hmm. You know, think of the nuclear race with Russia and America. Mm-hmm. Bruce Banner creates the gamma bomb, a huge weapon of mass destruction, and then pays for it with the rest of his life. Yeah. He runs out there, he sees a kid that's about to die. What have I done? Runs out there, ready to sacrifice himself for this kid, and is punished for the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. This is September 1st. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And it is an extremely appropriate character, I believe, and specific tale of him to explore on a day that celebrates suicide prevention. Yeah. And month. Yeah. How do you feel about this guy, Garen? this story that
this story, at first it did take me, again, reading what I'm reading lately and the art and how it starts out black and white. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time I was like, I just can't.
You're talking about your excitement surrounding House of X and Jonathan Hickman, X-Men Relaunch, which is our companion series. It has been a bit of a task. Yeah, to put them both in, like, remember what I'm reading, what do I know, but also seeing the different styles of art and the colors. And so at first, get that excitement again and try and find it for our chronological market.
Yes. But once it got into even the second issue, third issue, like second issue for sure, and realizing, it's him talking to his therapist, psychiatrist, and having that dialogue alongside him telling the story, which are also experiencing the story. It flowed. It just, like, I didn't even have to take notes or anything. It just flowed throughout the whole thing. Just be like explaining kind of like what he was going through while it's like he's explaining it to a psychiatrist while also explaining what's going on, and having those, like, what I know already about the Hulk and what I know about Bruce Banner and what I know about, but then seeing it go through this whole whirlwind of love and loss and hate and, you know, and you become what you hate and you become what you know, and for it to finally summarize in the end of, like, him being like,
hold on,
life.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil those final 2 pages. For anybody that hasn't read this, the final 2 pages, specifically this comic, I don't want to spoil that final revelation. I think that it's really special.
Well, you should have read it. Spoilers. But yeah.
But I do agree.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's just everything, like, it goes through of the whole reading it. Because when it is kind of ironic, but at the same time, not, that when I actually sat down to read this, it was on a day that my therapy session got canceled. It happened to get canceled. I'm like, sweet, I have time to now read this. And then this to be an actual therapy session with Bruce Banner. Like, it was just like, that is kind of, all right, world, all right, universe. You know, like, just, it was kind of funny how, which then hit to those marks. Where it's like, you know, the therapist, you know, psychiatrist saying, well, what is this? What does this matter? You know, and kind of hitting those marks while still telling this story. And I'm like, that's, you know, that is well
Garen
said.
and I have a special episode of Investigating Comic Club planned for September 10th, which is World Suicide Prevention Awareness Day. And we'll get into some of the efforts that we've made towards it. I don't want this September Suicide Prevention Awareness Month to be a drag in all of our videos. I want to entertain. I want to enjoy ourselves. I do want to celebrate suicide prevention awareness. And whether you find it in yourself, if you're having a difficult time, you find passion, excitement, enjoyment, inspiration from comic books or these tales or podcasts or movies or music or whatever it is that you find, celebrate it, enjoy it, share it with others, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
We have been fortunate enough to get a lot of support in our efforts to do that, and a lot of extraordinary responses. And we've also, in that time, there have been energies and coincidences along this way, this journey of ours of an effort to engage with people, to dialogue with suicide prevention, to get people excited about whatever, to enjoy things, to realize that there are things to be passionate about, to continue enjoying, to celebrate. Darren pointed out that this issue was September 1st and the significance of that, and I think it's wildly appropriate.
Yeah.
So without getting, heavy, I do want to enjoy. I loved this issue.
Yeah.
It was a joy to read for me. These two storytellers, there's a fluidity and an elegance to every page turning. I love when Iron Man shows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that so much, and we're talking about continuities. We're talking about Daredevil, the Man Without Fear occurring before issue 1.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, contradict.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four season 1 occurring over the first few issues.
Yeah.
This one, I love the moment where Leonard Sampson, the psychiatrist, is saying, Bruce, what are you talking? You guys didn't meet until the Avengers formed, which is essentially the writer talking and arguing with the reader, saying, wait, they didn't meet till Avengers number 1. Yeah. Well, it was top secret and this and that. But no, I don't think... Shut up and listen to the story.
Yeah.
And the continuity static bothers me, and I get wrapped up in it sometimes. Thanks, Jeph, for telling me and my mind to shut up and just enjoy the story. Because I really did.
Yeah.
I loved, these two titans battling. And within that, what an amazing, talented story to get that joy of these two titans battling. And then Betty is there.
Yeah.
And the moment where he smacks her. Yeah. And she flies through the air unconscious. And that doubling down almost Jeph Loeb with that dialogue about the dog on the leash and the gun. And how that joyful battle that you want to see Iron Man fight the Hulk gets darker and darker in that tale about the dog. And then Betty gets smacked.
Yeah.
And him saying, that's the first time I heard her. Powerful.
Yeah. It's fitting that it's like Hulk gray.
Did you know that the Hulk when he was in his first appearance, was gray?
Yeah.
He was gray. I don't know. I think at least for the first 6 issues.
Him being that way in the first, but also being this where it's, wordplay too, as far as in those gray lines. What is his story? What is the difference between anger? The difference between, how much control Bruce has over the Hulk, or Hulk has over Bruce.
Joss Whedon introduced the world to a very different kind of Hulk in the Avengers number 1. Edward Norton, I actually really enjoy that Hulk movie. Yeah. But most people on the planet right now, the majority of people that love the Hulk, love it because of Joss Whedon's Incredible Hulk in the Avengers. What was your knowledge of the Hulk before the Marvel Cinematic movies? How did you feel about reading this?
No, this one, actually, Edward Norton's version of it lined up better for me. The whole relationship with her father and that, interaction.
So disconnected from the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, how did this read as your first real time in your head visiting the Hulk? What do you think of the character after reading this story?
Oh no, I loved it. I loved the Hulk, Bruce Banner playing it, as far as the art, the story, and like I said, it just read. It read fluently to finding almost the psychology behind him having the gamma rays part of him. It's cool to, I don't know. It's cool to see that one shot of it.
I love in the psychology of it, and I think you're touching upon it here. Bruce contradicts himself many times. He refers to the Hulk as him or it or the Hulk, and also as me when I did this. And it is throughout the story several contradictions of that. how he views the Hulk. Is it him? Is it not him?
Yeah.
The same thought they had at that moment with Betty.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty special. This series, so much of what the world knows as the Incredible Hulk wouldn't exist without a gentleman, a writer named Peter David. He was on the series, I believe, for 16 years. So it's similar to Claremont's X-Men.
Oh, wow.
Peter David's Hulk. Man, without Peter David's Hulk, you're talking about in the one of the last videos you were saying that you loved. Oh, Fantastic Four. The modern day kind of pop culture references.
Yeah.
That's Peter David.
Oh, yeah.
So Peter David, like, I don't know if Joss Whedon would exist without Peter David and his Hulk run. And the psychology of it, that all is there because of this beautiful run by Peter David, which, finally, Marvel Comics is collecting in their first omnibus Peter David Hulk. And I think it's coming out in several months soon, by Christmas, I believe.
Oh.
And I would love to do a whole season on Peter David's Hulk.
Yeah.
It's really, really special. So things that you enjoy, like Joss Whedon, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the psychology of it.
Yeah.
That's all Peter David.
Gotcha.
So I just wanted to kind of
Oh, that's
throw
awesome.
his name out there.
Yeah.
I liked somebody called the Hulk the Thing, or what are you? Or you're some type of thing. And the Hulk says, not thing, Hulk.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a beautiful thing. You know, the Thing and the Hulk, they are maybe the first kind of iconic rivalry in Marvel Comics. And they're a beautiful kind of, every time they fight, it's like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe not. Maybe the first iconic rivalry in Marvel Comics might be the Human Torch and the Submariner.
That actually.
80 years ago, this year, those two were created.
Yeah, that's true.
Fire versus water. Marvel.
Yeah.
It's a titanic story and universe. I love it. What a beautiful moment as well, when you're talking about the psychology of this issue, when Banner is talking voiceover to psychiatrist Leonard Sampson. He's saying, I don't know how somebody like Betty, who has so much heart, grew up in a house that had no heart at all. And at that moment, Thunderbolt Ross is doing his best to express to his daughter, he's clearly uncomfortable about whatever happened with the mom, but she's got antidepressants or some type of medication. He's saying to Betty, who's not responding at all on the bed, there's some medication that is left behind from your mom. I can get it from the base. We can keep it really quiet.
Yeah.
That is such a typical kind of, I'm trying to express support to you. In my expressing support to you, I will make you feel ashamed of yourself for taking this medication.
Yeah.
It's not deliberate, but he is imparting all of this embarrassment and shame on his daughter if she actually gets professional help.
Yeah. And she even says, I hope you aren't turning out to be like your mother.
Oh.
It's like, wait, what? Oh.
How not to raise a daughter.
Yeah. Like,
but he's doing his best to.
Yeah. He's doing his best to. And as, you know, the best way
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And a great moment it's heartbreaking as Banner is talking about a heart, you know, and her full of heart, him not having one, and the household being empty and vacant of it. It honestly, it makes me feel like maybe her mom and his wife committed suicide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, it resonates
that
like
depression,
that.
you know.
It resonates like that to me.
Yeah.
And that, again, a difficult subject, but elegantly told within that moment. There's a lot of layers happening there.
Yeah. Because even the psychologist mentions that to Banner about her going through those stages of grief. Yeah. And being like, they all come in different orders. And, you know, only one is the final one, but all of those, it doesn't matter what stage of grief you're at. It could come at different areas. Except for,
Yeah, it's really, really a beautiful thing. I think we did a suicide prevention series called Correspondence, which is on this channel. And the second caller of the series, each episode is a different caller. And you just hear their voices as Garen's character is the counselor. It was all written by a hotline counselor who was a 3-year counselor. His name's Ted Hornick. The second caller is talking about how his sister may have committed suicide and how that's affecting him. And I think what Jeph Loeb says here gets Samson to express, hey, you're talking about Betty going through the 5-6 stages of grief. It's really interesting. And she's kind of grieving Banner as he's turned into the Hulk. I think it's pretty amazing. I think if you look at the emotions that the Hulk feels in this story, you can track those things of grief that he feels himself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I think that that's pretty cool. I love the sequence of them in the rain. That's very iconic in the cave. And then that ending with Ross coming in the helicopter. There's a 2-page spread where Betty is in the cave down below by the fire. The Hulk is on the helicopter. It's absolutely absurd.
No,
But in a comic book, your mind, it's oh my god, it's a celebration of awesome. That moment is so great. I could go on about this story at quite length, but I think it's a modern day classic. I give it an A.
I give it an A2.
You do?
Yeah, I did. I gave it an A.
I love it. That's awesome. So we both gave it A's. I want to know what you guys gave it.
Yeah, in our comic quality poll right up here, give it an A, B, C, D, or F. And then comment below and let us know. Keep this conversation going.
Awesome. So next week, straight from all the headlines right now and all the controversy, we race forward to Spider-Man Season 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's a pretty fun read, and I actually am quite curious how you will react to it, and also you guys, how you would react to it. I hope that you guys will join us.
To be continued.
All right, before we get cut off by the end of our cartridge, so we both gave it A's. Awesome. I want to know what you guys think.
Yes, in our comic quality.
What are you doing? Come on.
It's so much. No, we have space.
Okay.
We have space. So, yeah, I was laughing. Oh my god.
We have space.
Yeah.
Enough space to just finish this?
Yeah.
Okay. That means ending to the moment.
Yeah.
Shh, Garrett, shh. So we both gave it A's. I want to know what you guys gave it.